Hello, Debate High. Today, we will be concluding our mini-series on democracies. We will finally be talking about the opponents of democracies, otherwise known as the Greeks. More specifically, Socrates and Plato. So, without further ado, let's talk about them. In stark contrast, let us discuss some of the opinions of some of the most notorious opponents of democracy. What did the Greeks think? More specifically, Socrates and Plato. One fact that we should keep in mind when we discuss Socrates and Plato's disapproval of democracy is the type of democracy that they criticized. It was direct democracy, not representative democracy. So, let us now examine one of the two philosophers who has almost become synonymous with ancient Greece. Their clever and new ideas changed the world forever. Socrates largely is credited as the founder of Western philosophy, as well as an informal mentor towards Plato. It seems as an apt way to start our discussion. Socrates was completely opposed to Athenian democracy for a multitude of reasons. It is only when we read Book 6 of Plato's Republic that we come to learn why Plato feels this way. In the Republic, Plato gives us a detailed account of a conversation between Socrates and Adeimantus. In it, Socrates is trying to persuade Adeimantus into seeing the flaws of democracy. He compares society to a ship and asks Adeimantus if he would rather have just anyone in charge, or would he rather have an experienced and knowledgeable sailor. Of course, Adeimantus chooses the latter. Then, Socrates responds by questioning, why are we comfortable with allowing just anyone to decide who gets to become ruler of a country? This seemingly bland interaction with Adeimantus shows us the first issue Socrates sees with Athenian democracy. His belief that voting is a skill and must be systematically taught through education and research. He believes that voting cannot be and should not be a mere intuition. Furthermore, Socrates deems it to be irresponsible to let an uninformed citizen vote. Socrates criticizes the intelligence of the voters and is cited as praising the Spartan monarchy for its well-managed execution. A key characteristic of Socrates was his belief that only those who have formed an educated and rational opinion should vote. Socrates predicted that if any old John Q. public was allowed to vote without knowing the underlying context, they would make not only a choice that damages their own personal interest, but the personal interest of society as a whole. Socrates feared above all else the notion that an uneducated citizenry would vote, and they would vote without consideration for consequences, and they would doom Athens to demagoguery. Socrates disliked democracy because it was allowing a smooth-talking fool to be elected over an expert. In fact, Socrates sets up a wonderful example showcasing this very sentiment. Socrates knew how easily people seeking election would exploit our desire for answers. He asked us to imagine an election debate between two candidates, one who was like a doctor and the other one who was like a sweet shop owner. The sweet shop owner would say of his rival, "Look at this person here, has worked many evils on you. He hurts you, gives you bitter poisons, and tells you not to eat or drink whatever you like. He'll never serve you your feast of many and varied pleasant things like I will." Socrates asks us to consider the audience's response. Do you think the doctor would be able to reply effectively? The true answer? I cause you trouble and go against your desires in order to help you. That would cause an uproar among voters, wouldn't you think? We as a society must acknowledge Socrates' criticisms of democracy, and in doing so, we recognize that any form of government is not only as good as the education system behind it, because if we fail to do so, we risk electing sweet shop owners and not doctors. Let's now examine Plato's point of view on democracy. He is critical of Athenian democracy and largely shares most of his skepticism with Socrates. Plato instead opted for an aristocracy led by a philosopher king. Plato fears mob rule and views democracy as a society that, instead of following the common good, follows the individual's impulses. He shares the view with Socrates that many democracies are run by fools. Plato saw the disunity in Athenian democracy and concluded that people mistook anarchy for freedom. He did not see democracy as a collection of individuals voicing their joint wishes for a common good, but as a conglomeration of fools who occupied a common space who had no intention of forming a cohesive and functional form of government. We have now come to an end of our little mini-series about democracy. It's been a pleasure to cover various philosophers that span across millennia. These guys are just a starting point for your independent research. You can agree with me or disagree with me. Feel free to debate it. In all honesty, I had a blast researching this and putting together this mini-series, and I really look forward into making more. I would love to see you guys learn and discover new positions for your use in debate. As always, I want to give full credit to every author featured in this work. I mean no copyright infringement, and I encourage you to check the source document for further readings. If it not for the vibrant and collaborative academic community, videos like these would not be possible. If you would like to support our endeavors here at Debate High, I encourage you to check out our website and share it with your debate coach or your debate team. Here at Debate High, we want to continue our mission of free, educational, student-led, and student-oriented content for all. Thank you so much, it's been a blast, and we'll catch you in the next one.